first of all, you have to know where you are,
Yeah.
and, kind of gauge how's that working for you.
Yeah. Totally.
Because I wake up every day in gratitude, but I wake up every day saying, gosh, I want to be a better person today than I was yesterday.
Yes.
But I also want to be able to get onto, the whiteboard or a journal or something where I want to be, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, and in 10 years. Like,
Mm.
where do I want to be, and how am I going to get there? And a lot of the how is just, writing it down and letting the universe do the work. But, that's great and that works. It's fine. But when you talk about envisioning, that's fabulous. But envisioning the life that you want to have is also going to require the work.
Hey guys, this episode is sponsored by Tranquil Turtle Massage. Tracy over there, the founder, she's a small town girl from Montana, loves God, loves her family, loves her friends, loves working out, fishing, and camping. She has a passion for helping those in need and enjoys being creative with woodworking, crocheting, healthy baking, pottery, and cooking. Look, she began her massage journey back in 2010, where she graduated from massage school up in Anchorage, Alaska. She specializes in her signature massages, the Hanu Infusion and the Hanu Ashiatsu, as well as the gua sha and manual lymphatic drainage. If you're looking for a massage specialist and someone who could get you feeling good, go see Tracy down at Tranquil Turtle Massage. And while you're there, check out CDA Microblading, offering Coeur d'Alene's best tattoo brows, plasma fibroblast, tightening, and PMU services right there in the heart of downtown Coeur d'Alene. Make sure you book your appointment at pnwmobilemassage.com. Clarissa, you're the founder and CEO of In the Limelight Media, internationally acclaimed, award-winning media personality. You're also a former supermodel, public speaker, author, podcast host. You were also the meme queen in NeverEnding Story Part 2, and much more. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Hey, Erik, it's so good to be here. And we've just met recently, which is kind of cool. I love the way the universe aligns that way so that we all get to meet, and then poof, we're on a podcast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was so great to meet you in person there at Gregory's house. I love to kick my show off by going back a little bit. Where did you grow up? What was childhood like for you?
Childhood, I was in Philadelphia, born in Philly. So,
Okay.
grew up Philly, regular middle class folk. And I just, I had the bug, and that was, the stage bug, the microphone bug. And I just, next thing I know, it was Mary Poppins in the kindergarten play. And it started there. That's kind of where I heard the first applause. That'll get you every time. And then it took a little while before I heard it again. But that's after I had moved to Italy, and I went over to be a model back in the early 80s, and that parlayed into television for me. So I started to work on television, live television, lots of that. And so I was able to learn, live timing and sound bites and how to speak. I already spoke quickly because I was from the East Coast, but when you're live televisioning, you've got to keep their attention. And so you tend to move at a pace that is not too fast, but certainly not too slow, in order to keep everyone engaged. So that's kind of how it started. I mean, I really just started working on television there. And then after that, I had done about, I guess there were about 18 movies all told.
Okay.
And the one that came to, went global was the NeverEnding Story, Part 2, where I played the mean queen, Zaida, and that was lots of fun.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's cult clubs for the NeverEnding Story. You can go online and find them, and they have found me. I'm actually painted on the side of somebody's van in Connecticut, and it's kind of it goes on from there. And so so that the movie was great. I think it was translated into 19 different languages or something. But that was a Warner Brothers worldwide release, and that was lots of fun. But my main gig was always been live. Live. Movies it's really great. I love the live interaction. I love the stage, and I love a microphone, much like we're doing now.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. And I mean, you signed on with a modeling agency at just 18 years old.
Yeah.
Was there someone that inspired you to go into modeling and get into the media thing, or was it just like always in your heart there?
At the end of the day, it was Ava Gardner and Rita Hayworth, and
Okay.
you're too young to remember the two, cinematic icons. They were
Yeah.
two of the most beautiful women on the planet. And as a child, I can remember just watching them dance and sing and wear the most beautiful clothes and most beautiful makeup, and it's just who I wanted to be.
Yeah.
So it's funny because later in life, I had pictures somewhere. There's a side-by-side picture that they did of me back in the late 80s, I think it was, of me and Ava Gardner, and how the similarity of, facial, eye shape, and that sort of thing. So, I'm like, wow, I really kind of manifested that. And then in later years, they had me sing Amado Mio, which was one of the songs from Gilda, when she comes out with the white, the white little sort of midriff top and the long white gown, white and gold gown. And they recreated that for me. And the next thing you know, here I was, sort of, the reincarnation, if you will, for that song of
Yeah.
Rita Hayworth. So I mean, I was pretty powerful manifesting, if I do say so myself, for a 5 or 6 year old.
Come on. Yeah. Oh, what
Yeah,
amazing.
bring it, bring it.
Yeah. Wow. So great.
Yeah,
I mean, and through this journey, I mean, I'm sure there was like you were traveling all over the world and you were all, everywhere, like in, media and things like that. And I'm sure there was ups and downs emotionally through that journey. But was there a failure that stuck out the most to you that taught you the biggest lesson?
um, there were a couple of them along the way that, first of all, I believe that everything that's supposed to happen to you is going to happen. Everything
Yeah.
that's meant for you is going to be yours,
Yeah.
and everyone that is meant for you is going to be in your life.
Mhm.
And again, some people are here for a reason, some for a season, and some for a lifetime. There are a few
Yes.
that were in my life for a reason I'm still trying to figure out. But um, um, there are certain things that I might have taken a deeper breath and a deeper dive on before making a decision, yes or no. Let's put it
Mm.
that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you've done, like you said, 18 or plus movies there. You've also
Yeah.
directed and you've produced Wishman,
Yes.
which is such a great movie there.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thrilled. Well, first of all, I was the one that found Frank.
Okay.
So I
Wow.
found Frank Shankwitz here in Arizona about 11 years ago. We were at the same event up in Prescott where he was from. And I walked up and I saw this big burly man and a head, the boots and the belt and the hat and
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards. And I'll talk to anybody, you know me. So I walked up and we sparked a conversation and he told me about the Make-A-Wish Foundation, after which I said, you need to meet Greg Reed.
Mm.
And they had a bromance for years. And then, before, Greg asked Frank, well, what's your wish? And that was to have the movie as a legacy. And they started working on that. And I was, I'm in there as producer. And I was also Frank's good mother. I was Frank's stepmother, the one that he was so close to. And
Gotcha.
he was so thrilled, so thrilled. And he kept saying to me, all this is because of you, Clarissa. All this is because of you. And I said, well, I don't know about that, Frank. It's all you're doing, Clarissa. Every time he said, I can't thank you enough, Clarissa, for what you did for me. So yeah, that's another kind of that's a feather in my cap, I have to say. And
Come on.
Greg did an amazing job, the whole team. The movie you can still see on Netflix, everybody. It's called Wishman.
Yep.
And I'd say go watch it because it's a story of the founder of the Make-A-Wish Foundation and how that came to be.
It's such an excellent movie. People need to go out and watch that for sure.
Yeah.
Where do you think your drive to be so successful comes from?
Wow. Oh, hi. Yeah. Isn't that funny? Because I don't, I really don't consider myself hugely successful. Honestly, I consider myself someone that really wanted to live the passions, and the passions for me were
Yep.
really wanted to be a model. In the day, Erik, we didn't have cell phones and internet and computer and all. We didn't have any of that. We had a Sears catalog that showed up twice a year.
Yeah,
And it was the spring summer edition and the fall winter edition.
totally.
And that was my internet. That was where I went to see the models and the clothing and the makeup and how they posed and that sort of thing. And it wasn't many pages because they had to fit a lot into that catalog,
Totally.
Yeah. So for
So funny.
me, it was really more, the dream of wanting to be and never thinking that I could.
Mm.
I was sort of an ugly duckling kind of kid, and it just wasn't, it just seemed like light years away.
Yeah.
Until I started, I think 17, 18, maybe 16, I started to think, well, I probably could, but I never could. Well, maybe I should, but I never could.
Mhm.
And then people would say to me, you're so tall and so thin and so pretty, you really should try it. And I thought to myself, well, maybe I will. And I did try it and it worked. Of course, there's the beginning, the middle, and the end. And it takes,
Sure.
and again, we didn't have cell phones and internet and all of that. Right now, you can go online and see all the girls that you want to book for jobs.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we had a portfolio and we schlepped it around town and we took subway and we walked miles and we had a paper map and so there was a lot of work, and you went and you saw clients and you went to meet photographers and you were all over the place walking.
Yeah.
sir.
Oh,
um,
absolutely.
and so there was a
So
lot of
fun.
work that went into that. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I want to talk about your book because it's called the Self-Esteem Regime. I recently started this book. It's so amazing. I'm stoked to get through the rest of it. But, for those who don't know, what's this book about? Who's it for? Why did you decide to write this book?
Well, first of all, the byline is an action plan to becoming the confident person that you were meant to be,
Yeah.
and it's because I've seen so many people that were even the most blessed
Mm.
human beings on the planet. It don't seem to get they don't get a free ticket. There's no free ride.
Yep.
Self-esteem in some way, shape, or form is going to affect your life, whether it be then, now, or in the future, or all of the above. So it's one of the kind of things that I feel that if you don't get out of bed in the morning, your feet hit the ground, and your self-esteem isn't, you're not feeling pretty good about yourself, you're not going to be feeling good about life, and you're not going to have healthy relationships with yourself or with others.
Yeah.
So, I was able to see, my mother, she never thought she was pretty and hated having her picture taken, and I was so glad that I didn't get that bug because I love having my picture taken. It was my life for a long time.
Yeah.
My grandmother, beautiful woman, beautiful, beautiful woman. And she was just, I got to lose weight, got to lose weight. So she took two, diet pills one day and choked on them, and they perforated her esophagus, and she was in the hospital for 6 weeks. And then I worked with women that are, supermodels, and they were some of the most beautiful women on the face of the planet. Most women would love to be or look like or be able to fit into the clothing that they were wearing every day. I mean, it's a statement of fact. Um, and they were either in toxic relationships, or they were drugging themselves, or they were drinking too much, or partying all the time. They were not living healthy. I'm not saying don't go have some fun sometimes,
Sure.
but I'm saying, as a general diet, they weren't living, a healthy life, whether mentally or physically, spiritually, or whatever else. So I kind of figured that there was a common denominator there, Eric. It was kind of one of the things that you went, I think there's something to this.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about this book 10 years ago. So I was at Secret Knock on stage, and I was talking to Greg about something. I forget exactly what I might have said at that time. About 4 years ago, we were in Palm Springs, and Gary Krebs, the gentleman that co-wrote this, and you'll meet him at the next Secret Knock for sure, he came over to me and says, I really need to write your book. I went, wow, okay, great, that'd be awesome. And the next thing you know, we were off to the races. Sorry, that must be. I think that was Amazon. We were off to the races. It was yeah, they dropped it off, and we were off to the races with the book. So I went up to Connecticut once to his house. I was over to New York a couple of times, and I brought all kinds of information and said, this is what I want to call it. This is how I want the chapters to break down. This is what I want. So we've got case studies, we've got affirmations, we've got homework to do, there's journaling to do, there's mirror work to do. You're going to hear the clarion calls, you're going to get Clarissa's corners, you're going to get all kinds of great information. But make no mistake, Eric, that when you start to do the work, it's not called work for I mean, it's called work for a reason, and that
Yeah.
is some of the deeper dives you're going to take. Some you're not going to want to take because you've known for a long time you had to do the work and you didn't. Some you really kind of even didn't know you had to take, but you're going to do the work. And some you had no idea at all that they were even there. Like, stuff's going to come up and bite you in the behind that you didn't even know
Yeah.
was an issue.
Wow. Man, I
It's
can't wait to
cool.
get through the rest of this book. It's so good
It's
already.
really cool, Eric, and it's great for guys too. I'm so glad that you're bringing to the fore that men are not exempt from self-esteem and self-esteem issues also.
Oh, absolutely.
And if we can bring to the fore a stronger, happier, healthier man with self-esteem,
Mm.
can you imagine what that would mean for so many relationships? Relationship to mom, relationship with your dad, relationship with your wife, your girlfriend, your kids, your bros,
Yeah.
the guys you drink the brewski with, or whatever. I mean, it just changes the trajectory of your life in a
Mm.
huge, huge way.
Massive. Absolutely. I think one of my favorite parts so far in the book has been where you talk about becoming the visionary of your life. Why is becoming the visionary of your life so important? And what can folks do to get crystal clear on their vision?
Well, first of all, you have to know where you are,
Yeah.
and kind of gauge how's that working for you.
Yeah. Totally.
Because I wake up every day in gratitude, but I wake up every day saying, gosh, I want to be a better person today than I was yesterday.
Yes.
But I also want to be able to get onto, the whiteboard or a journal or something where I want to be tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, and in 10 years, like,
Mm.
where do I want to be, and how am I going to get there? And a lot of the how is just, writing it down and letting the universe do the work. But, that's great and that works. It's fine. But when you talk about envisioning, that's fabulous. But envisioning the life that you want to have is also going to require the work. And, a lot of people are a little work adverse these days. It's like, I'll just stay home and not go work at McDonald's and the government's going to pay me. Well, that's not going to end. That coffee train's going to end one day. And
Totally.
you're going to be standing there going, well, I don't know. I'm not trained in anything. I really don't know. I mean, I was, Starbucks, and McDonald's, which, by the way, is great. It's fabulous, but is that where you want to be when you're, 40, 50, 60 years old? So you want to be getting yourself trained for what it is you want to be doing. And by the way, that educational process never ends. I am
Totally.
on courses and classes all day long, all the time, and I never stop.
Mm. It's so good. This thing right here behind me, Ed told me while I was on the phone with him, and he said, it says constant and never ending improvement. And I just thought, man, that's amazing. I got to put that on my wall. And so I see that every morning. I'm big on waking up with gratitude. And, my goal is to wake up every day. And
Yeah.
so if I can wake up and open my eyes, I immediately go, man, God, thank you for another
Yeah.
day. I get to see my family, hug my family, hold my family.
I talk about the four pillars of self-esteem, which are the four legs upon which a chair sits, right?
Mm.
It keeps that balance, and that is to look good, feel good, be good, and greater good. Look
Yeah.
good, we all know what that is, and it's individual to each one of us now. But when you're looking good, you've got a lilt in your step, right? You're feeling
Totally.
pretty okay about things. The next one is, feel good, diet, exercise, nutrition. Where are you on that? Because your body, you get one this time around. How you're treating that is how it's treating you. Be good. What are you listening to? Who are you believing? How are your finances? Where are you taking responsibility? Where are you shirking your responsibilities? What are where are the educational pieces? For me, I'm not going to lie. A lot of times it's YouTube, and other times it's Udemy. I'll go over. I'll buy myself a course, 10.99, and off, and I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the greater good, Erik, which is, paying it forward, paying it back, tithing, volunteering. When you do something as little as hold an elevator door open for someone. I'm not saying you changed the world, but you did a kind thing.
Mm.
And it made you feel really good when they went, oh, thank you. I didn't think I was going to make it. Gee, thanks. And you're like, no problem. Yeah. Something so small. Again, these are very little things. Sometimes it's just a smile.
Yes.
And sometimes it's helping the elderly across the street or with their bags out to the car at the grocery store.
Absolutely. It's a daily goal of mine to put a smile on someone's face, whether that's virtually or in person. If I'm out at the store and they've got a name tag on, it's there so I can actually say them by, call them by their name.
Me too.
Not just complain to it, right? Like I want to actually put a smile on their face. So I love that, just being able to have really make an impact on the world. And even the small things can make a huge difference in someone's day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I wanted to shift real quick over to in the Limelight Media. What projects are you working on right now? What is this company? Why did you decide to launch this thing?
Well, In the Limelight is a multimedia platform that consists of video, television, a podcast, and a digital magazine. Yeah. So video means we go out to 10 different platforms live immediately. So when I interview you, boom, live. Then I take that, it goes on VOD, and that means video on demand on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, Panasonic, Dailymotion, and 100 other smart television apps. After which it goes on to podcast platform that puts me out to 11 different podcasts, all the best. Mm-hmm. From Apple to Google to Pandora to Spotify, Stitcher, all of them. Audible. And then, and by the way, the book is on Audible too. The other thing is then comes the digital magazine. Now I've just moved from the digital format, the flip book format, to just putting it on as a beautiful blog right now onto the website. And then of course, if you come through what I call my 7-touch system, then you get a news release, you get onto my social, and you get into my newsletter as well. So those are 7 ways. If you give me 20 minutes, that I'm able to turn your life around pretty, significantly through traditional and social media.
Love it. Oh, it's so awesome. I mean, I'm a big podcaster. I love connecting with other podcasters. You're a podcast host there. How has having that podcast, helped you in your business?
I have to say it's the quickest for me. It's a quick connector, and
Yes.
it's a really cool thing because it's the quickest share. I'll do yours if you'll do mine, kind of thing, and that's great because we're all looking for more. And not everybody can say to me, I can't say to everybody, look, I'll have you on my TV show. Can I be on yours? Because not everyone has that piece.
Yep.
But a lot of people now have podcasts, and they are the quickest way, I think, to be able to connect again with another podcaster and to grow the list there, but also to be able to connect with their audience.
Yep.
You'll connect with mine as well when I have you on my show, but also to be able to, it's great for brand awareness. Now I can say I've been on the Erik Allen show, and
Yeah.
I can use your logo on all my collaterals.
Yes.
And it's true because it's ethically true. And that's the other thing that's really important. You do not ever want to be caught not being ethical about where you've been on media.
Yes.
A lot of people saying, I was on the Today Show. Were you? Show me the episode.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
So,
and then, because everything about brand awareness and certainly about integrity and about self-respect and self-esteem is being able to tell the truth. That's like one of the biggest ones of all. So yeah, you want to be able to, you use all of these media icons with all your collaterals, your websites, your one pages, wherever you get your podcasts or whatever.
yeah.
You want to do it ethically.
Oh, so true. In 2021, I set a goal to be a guest on 100 podcasts on top of releasing my own. And I ended up the year, I finished 2021 with doing 117 interviews on other podcasts. And it was just, for me, I just wanted to get my name out there. I wanted to connect with other podcasters. I wanted to see how other people were doing things, make some tweaks to my show. And then in this year for 2021, my goal is just to impact as many people as I can. And just start helping more people this year. And that's a big goal of mine. And so, yeah, I love connecting with other podcasters, being guests on shows and, having them on my show. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, because now when you send me the link, I'm going to get it out to all my social, and you'll be on my show. I'll send you, you'll get it out to all your social, and this is how we grow exponentially, right?
Yes.
Because it's a tough gig. Make no mind, it's a tough gig. There are millions of podcasts now.
Totally.
And so from cream to rise to the top, you need to be putting out some excellent content. And that normally means excellent guests. Not that you're not a phenomenal, right? Everybody's a phenomenal host, but the real juice there is really getting the excellent guests that can give you the golden nuggets and to really enlighten, empower, and motivate your audience.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I love to finish my show because I'm a big music guy. What's a favorite type of music that you listen to, or do you have a favorite band that you like to listen to?
Well, I have to say, when I'm at work, when I'm working, everything's either lounge or chill.
Yes.
Just, non, it's instrumental. I can't, if the voices are, I can't have local vocals because that distracts me. But I love, I've got the essential oils are diffusing and the music is chill. And that's kind of my vibe when I'm working. Oh my God, the music that I love the most that will get me up. I used to love like the ZZ Tops of the world.
Okay, come on.
The Doobie Brothers. I know I'm aging myself. They were damn good. I mean, I could be here on Boston and Journey and you're talking bands. I mean, Foreigner. There was some really great stuff when the 70s and the 80s. Come on, Erik.
Yeah.
Come on.
So good.
Come on, Erik. Come on.
So good.
You cannot tell me. Look, I love the big band era. Loved the 30s and the 40s. The 50s had some of the best music ever, and I am a Motown freak.
Yeah.
The 60s, where do we want to put the 60s music? Some of the great Doors.
Totally.
I mean, come on, man. Come on. The 70s too. The Doors Doors was late 60s, but this the whole Vietnam music vibe, that whole thing going on. Yeah. Stop there. What's that sound? Everybody get that. I mean, that, and then the whole, when the 4 were shot at Ohio State, 4 dead in Ohio. Oh, hello. Yeah, that is like some of the best ever. But then the 70s came along again, great. But the 80s, I mean, I don't know. I think they kind of lost me around the 90s.
Sure.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, I'll listen to it and I love it and it's all good and whatever. But yeah.
Well, I love that era for me. My dad, he took me, my first concert was Richard Marx. And then when I was 13, he took me to see Rod Stewart. And then, I returned the favor. I worked in the music business for a bit and invited him out to see Aerosmith and Foreigner and Journey
Aerosmith.
and Boston and oh man, Bad Company. It was so
Bad
cool to
Company, Bad Company.
yeah.
Oh God, yes. And my first was Springsteen.
Okay.
And it was in
Come
Milan,
on.
Italy, and it was the mid-80s or something. It was 83, 84. Springsteen, and I'm a Jersey girl.
Okay.
And I met him, right?
Yeah.
Like I met him. I was already working on Italian television, and I met him, and I went, "Hey," I think I said something stupid like, "I'm a Jersey girl." Like,
Yeah.
okay. And I said the same thing when I met Frank Sinatra. I met Frank Sinatra at the American Embassy in Rome, and I walked up to him and I went, "Hey, Frank, I'm a Jersey girl." Like but I was young and dumb. What did I know?
Oh, sure.
And of course, we didn't have cell phones, so I didn't get a picture with Sinatra. I did with Springsteen.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Man, Clarissa, it's such an honor to have you on my show. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I love your story. You're impacted so many people with your book and your podcast and in the Limelight media. Thank you so much for taking time.
I'm
It's truly an
having a
honor.
blast, Erik, and I know you are too. You're having a great time, and I'm going to tell you something else. I am digging that American flag behind you, and I wore red. I got the memo,
Come
and
on.
I wore red for the occasion.
That's amazing. Yeah, one of my sponsors, Combat Flags, he does both of these
Love
flags
it.
here. And it's just a one-man shop.
Love
He's donated.
and I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a sponsor, but I do love that flag, and I want everybody else to love it as much as we do.
Thank you so much for checking out the show today. I wanted to just take one quick second of your time to point you to erikallenmedia.com. I have a ton of free and paid content on our resources tab. Click on that. Tons of books, tons of websites you can go check out. Some secret websites in there as well for you. But listen, I am available for hire for anything from product videos to content videos, review videos. I do a lot of how-to and explainer type videos, box opening videos for brands. I also do laser engraving for anything that's wood product. So if you need some, coasters made or fun tags or something like that, shoot me a DM. Happy to help you out. You can check out some of my work on our YouTube channel there. Really appreciate you checking out the show today. Thank you so much for your time. Have an amazing day.